What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. We are back for another round of AOR Oceania on the Xbox One platform for season number 5. We're here, as you can see on screen, for round number 15 here on the streets of Marina Bay for the Singapore Grand Prix. As we just leave the lane for the first time. It is a 169 points between New Zealand Ryan and LSEM Allan. You can check out where your favourite drivers are. We're still P11. About 6 points, I think it is, gap between myself and LSN the Butler. Ferrari have got a 248 point margin over Haas in the Constructors' Championship, and Alfa Romeo, I think we're somewhere in P8, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway. But yes, like I said in probably the previous video, which, by the way, if you have not seen and have actually not seen the full overall season, then be sure to go check out the previous videos if you haven't checked them out already. But yeah, potential this weekend as we just have a little bit of a war up there. Surprisingly, didn't actually get front wing damage from that, which I was still very surprised at how I didn't get front wing damage from that. But anyway, we're continuing on with the lap around here. So, yeah, but potential for this weekend that a new well, not a new champion, the reigning champion will be crowned again in the form of New Zealand Ryan if he can manage to keep that gap above, I think it's 150 points. If he manages that for this weekend, then he'll be easily champion-elect with just over, after this round, it'll be, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 21, 6 rounds left.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
Yeah. Well done, Ross. You can actually count on when you're recording your voiceovers. But anyway, first lap is done and dusted in the books. Not the greatest of lap times around here. So we just let Bazooka go by. A few guys setting quicker lap times at the moment.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes.
There is possibly a little bit of potential as well for rain, as Jeff has just pointed out, but might just get away with it as well. So he said just under 10 minutes. Well, you never know with the Codemasters games whether you'll actually see rain or not. So may happen, may not. But anyway, just getting out of everybody's road here at the moment. I'll let both the Ferrari boys go through there, but did a 39.97, which originally put me on P4, but after a few guys proved, we dropped all the way back to position 6. But going into this round, it was not overly confident at all. There's just, I could not get an absolute right setup around here, and again, sort of similar back to a bit Hungary. If you remember a couple of rounds ago, was struggling with the setup a little bit here. Was sort of doing the same thing as well, because wasn't sure exactly how low or how high a wings I wanted to have around here, because it's sort of a bit of a two-edged sword, really. You want a bit of lowish downforce, or especially at these straights. These are long straights, especially, but you also want a little bit, I think, for the cornering, a few of the slow corners around here. So I was really, really struggling with the setup on this car with this one. So even it's still surprising me, and I'll probably mention this a lot during the race as well. And when I look back at this footage afterwards, and even to this day, when I'm looking back at this footage right now, I still wondered to myself, how the hell did I win here in Season 2 back in F2? Yeah, it still puzzles me, and I have not grown a liking at all to Singapore in the Formula 1 game ever since F1 2017. But about to finish our second lap here on the set of hard compound tyres. Obviously, strategy-wise around here, it is a pretty simple one around here. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But this lap, yeah, well, it wasn't the best, I'll admit. But we're going to come across the line now as we jump up into P7 with a 39. I think it was a 39. Let me have a look here. Where are we? Singapore. 39.13. So we did improve a little bit there, but yeah, it was only for one spot in the end. But went again for another run here, but just the curb just really put me off here going through into turns 2 and 3 there. But yeah, I tried to continue on with the lap around here because I knew I lost a bit of time around this lap here. But yeah, it was just an absolute mess, really, this lap overall. Even though at some point I think you'll see I actually go green overall there, but in the end I did actually go a bit later on in the lap, I should say. I think I did abort the lap in the end going down into turn 14, so you see the time really dropped away there. So we're going to come straight into the pit lane here and put on a set of medium tyres here. And got actually the pit lane exit where you got to drop down for the, well, it's the 60 Ks around here, I think it is. But, actually got it mixed up because the sign is not in the real ideal spot where you want to slow down. It might have been back in the early days when Singapore was first on the F1 map, but not ideal. I wish they put the 60K board a little bit further up, literally to the point where before you actually break into the pit, well, when you get to the pit lane speed limit or on anyway. So anyway, we've come back into the pit lane. Had to wait a little bit for my teammate to let his car get back into the garage. But anyway, we're going to chuck on a set of medium tyres. It's LSEM Allan that's leading the way at the moment. He's still a decent time. Of course, he's pretty much the only one left.
Looks like rain is inbound, and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain.
Yeah, like I was saying, as we actually changed the front wing a little bit. I did have it, I think, at 6-9 wings or something like that. But I've decided to change it a little bit. Or it might have been 7-9 or 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been so long since I did this race. But it was either up or down. You probably would have seen it on your screen anyway. So I think I might have went up or something in the wings, or might have actually went down. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much LSEM Allan's pretty much the only one that can literally stop New Zealand Ryan at this point of the race. Although he'd have to have a miracle. He's just got to outscore Ryan by, or get that gap underneath 150 points, I think, just to have any shot of winning this championship. But he pretty much needs Ryan to pretty much DNF every single race from pretty much here on in, and him to win every single race, and possibly even fastest laps. Not entirely sure there, but very sideways actually coming through turn 5 there. Actually did not ride the curb well at all. But we'll stick aboard here because this is my fastest lap on the medium tyres. We're way down the order here. We're literally way off the pace in P13 here. But thankfully we're not last. I think that has actually gone to Pom's sort of win, who I think got himself, if I'm not mistaken, disqualified from the session there. Probably not his own fault. I think it was just a, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? He actually accidentally blocked the pit lane. Probably it's silly, some of this game, what this game turns up anyway. But anyway, we'll continue on. This lap here, it's looking good, but I mean, the car just did not feel great overall. Much better run into turn 14 there. Don't want to run it out a little too much wider, otherwise you'll get your lap invalidated. But we're about, I think, 0.8 of a second quicker in sector 2, but we're definitely improving as we're going through into the slower part of the section here. LSEM Allan actually improves and gets on provisional pole. But whether he can get beaten or not, we'll have to wait and see as we get a nice run through turns 21. Now the final couple of 22 and 23. Chuck it across there, come across the line, and we go 2 seconds quicker. But it's only for, well, at the time it was P8 with a 1 minute 37.125. But we dropped all the way back to P10. I was hoping to actually get knocked out of the 10 and actually start the race on fresher tyres. But hey-ho, we'll have to start in P10 behind Archiwas. But it was New Zealand Ryan, I think, that got pole in the end, from memory. Yes, it was, with a 134.975. Only man into the 134s as well. My teammate actually did pretty well as well in P5. But it's time to go racing for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Seeing what you can do in today's race. Good luck.
Thank you, Jeff. Probably going to need all the luck I can get here. Welcome, guys, to the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix. Under pretty clear skies, but possibly a little bit of overcast a little bit later on. But race strategy-wise around here, it's just a pretty simple one-stop around here. Start on the medium tyres and go straight onto the hard competitive tyres. Although some guys have qualified on the soft tyres, so there's potential they could possibly have to do the two-stop, or maybe there's the odd one that maybe want to try the one stop and go straight onto the hard tyres. It's going to be a long ask, but anyway, we'll see what happens as we get set off for the formation lap.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want to bog down.
Thank you, Jeff, as always. But yeah, I mean, I was just at this. Well, I mean, going into this race, I just wanted to actually just survive as actually Masterbezerk and Kaiwa. So I thought that was actually a pretty funny moment actually on the formation. Let both those guys go into the wall at turn 8. I think that was correction from memory, but I don't think they actually got any proper front wing damage there. But that could have been a bit of an ugly one that they actually got damaged on the formation lap and it didn't start the race. But anyway, they do return to their slots, as well as LSEM the Butler, who's pretty much, I think, the last one to his grid spot, right on cue. So hopefully just survive and get into the points. Here we go. We're all set for round 15, the Singapore Grand Prix. 5 red lights. Let's do it around the Marina Bay Street Circuit, and it's a fairly decent start off the line. Didn't look like Berserk actually got a decent start off the line as he goes for it. Oh my word! Oh Jesus Christ! Nearly actually causing a massive crash there. How he didn't hit anybody there, I still don't know. We'll bring up some replays of that, but he's going side by side now, I think, with somebody. I think that's LSE and the Butler's contact, and he's in the wall. Somehow I don't think he's actually got any, well, he might have actually got front wing damage, but how he didn't get any, or didn't DNF out of that race, this has not been the greatest of seasons at all, as we just drop in behind Conrad straight, who's also on the soft tyres. So both the Williams guys are actually go for they're trying to be starting on the quickest strategy here. So we have a little look going into turn 9, but no can do there. But there's also Kai was actually qualified as well on the soft tyres, and there was not many guys that did it. We had a little look again up the inside of turn 14, but again, Conrad manages to hang on. Probably wasn't the ideal spot there to get the pass done anyway. But
the car behind might start to have fuel management issues. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage over the next few laps.
So obviously a bit of less fuel probably on board for Brazuca, but Conrad didn't have the greatest run on turn 5, so we're going to go around the long way here into turn 7. He has a little look up the inside here, but we're going to go right the way around. There's a little bit of slight contact there with myself and Conrad. I think we just banged his from my left wheel into his right front, but thankfully we got away with it, and now we're going to chase after his teammate Kai, was the other one on the soft tyres. I think they're the only two that are on the soft tyres from memory, as Icarus is out of the Grand Prix. Looks like his crash just coming before the Anderson Bridge, but where the looks of it is on the mini-map there, so not exactly sure what happened, whether the curbs just spun him around or something and he ended up there. Not entirely sure there with Icarus there, but yeah, real shame for him. But there we go, on to lap 3. We see get his DRS enabled as we go straight up the inside, and pretty simple move here up the inside of Kaiwas, and yeah, gets up into P9 now. Next up is my teammate, who's just a little bit further up the road, but yeah, next sort of few laps, sort of, well, we're continuing on with lap 3 here. So you can see my teammate ahead. We're actually starting to catch up to him a lot sooner than I was expecting here. As you can see, a little slide going through turn 9 here, and you'll probably see quite a bit in this bit of footage here. That I think he actually goes, well, his indicator actually goes away then and it comes back, but he did struggle a little bit earlier on, but it's not to do with his driving at all. But he did actually pop into AI mode a little bit here, and I was very cautious. I didn't want to tangle with my teammate here, but he usually, I think at this point, he usually listens to music when he's racing. I don't know how you do that, but I'll probably explain a little bit more a bit later on. But here's a replay actually of what occurred at the start. So it's a fairly decent start. And Berserk here, I think it was sort of, yeah, LSE and the Butler actually came across there and sort of put him off here. And how he didn't go into the side of my teammate is an absolute miracle there. Again, I don't know how he didn't cause a massive pile-up here, but we'll jump aboard here with Berserk and actually see what happens here. So 5 red lights and away we go. So nice-ish start there from Masterbezerk. So Butler tries to go down the middle, and oh, okay. So I think Butler said afterwards that he got put off a little bit by Laggy's braking point. He had to actually jump on the brakes quickly and obviously flew to the left, and poor Berserk had nowhere to go. But these two still going side by side here into turn 5. There's a tiny bit of contact and it ends up in the wall there. like I said, how we didn't end up DNFing in the race, literally just going straight into the wall and losing that left front tyre, I seriously do not know. But he's got front wing damage, and I think he had to pit at the end of that, end of lap 1 there. So I think possibly he may have to do a 2-stop, or possibly could go into the end on the hard tyres here. But just skipping ahead, because not really a lot happened here. As you can see, I'm literally still struggling a lot with the car. And yeah, what I was saying before with Matt, obviously he listens to music a lot. As actually Conrod's actually out of the Grand Prix. He possibly crashed into the tyre barrier at turn 14, or the exit of turn 14, I should say. But yeah, like I say, Matt was listening to music, and he was listening to some sort of Spanish music, or music that was in the Spanish language. Don't ask me why, but whether Matt wants to comment on that one on the video or not, you'll have to explain a bit more on that one, Matt, because I think I've tried my absolute best. But anyway, but then pretty much after that, you can tell that his pace has picked up quite a hell of a lot here as we nearing the end now of lap 9. But yeah, you can see, well, truly, he's lost a big gap now as we hit the wall just slightly there. Just literally just had nothing.
It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
You can literally see how much I'm struggling here as we cut to the end of get to the end of lap 9. And Deathbro, and there's actually quite a few guys that have sort of come in early here, which probably a little bit surprised about coming in this early. So we get our first time penalty of the race, but I think it was, correct me, LSEM Allan and Deathbro, and that may have been it. I don't know if I missed anyone there, but you can see it come towards the middle of lap 10 here. As you can see, Allan's, I just decided to not really hold him up here, considering he's on much fresher, hard compounded tyres. Should be able to make it to the end of the race there, and just decided to let him go there. No point arguing with the guy we're not really racing here. So you can see the gap he's literally pulled away here. Is LSEM Allan, LSEM Venom, which is formerly New Zealand Venom, but had his game of change there. And actually, Ryan and Allan are battling away here up in front here. They're literally going side by side here. So this is literally the battle, well, for the Drivers' Championship here. Is all around this Allan is around, I should say, at turn 5. Somehow I managed to avoid all that action there. I don't know how, but anyway, let's have a look here. So there's a replay here on board with LSEM Allan. So Ryan obviously comes out of the pit lane, done his pit stop. Ignore that the tyres look like they're on mediums, but he's not. He's actually on hard compound tyres. And then it's just a little bit of contact with the left rear and the right front. His left front, right rear with Ryan there. But yeah, I think it's just one of those unfortunate incidents there. And I think this was dubbed a racing incident. You see, here comes Ryan out of the pit lane here, and he actually outbraked himself a little bit there from what he said, because this was taken to the stewards, and he did actually outbrake himself there, and copped 5 penalty points for crossing the white line out of the pit exit. So there's the incident in the background, as it's a bit hard to tell here, but I decided to do a split screen here, and I've hopefully slowed it down enough here to give you a bit of an indication where the cars were. And yeah, I don't know whether he's far enough up here, and I think from memory, if my memory serves me correct, that was deemed a racing incident. I did say as well to LSEM Allan as well, when he was putting this into the stewards, that I did think there was a racing incident. It did turn out to be as my teammates had a bit of an issue coming through underneath the grandstands there. I think it was turns 18, well, at turn 19 especially, because he's actually spun the car here. But we begin lap 12 here, and you'll see, watch that darker red dot here. It's actually, I think he actually clipped the wall there on the way into the pit lane. Yeah, which is, it is easy to do, as we actually let our teammate go back, teammate, LSEM Allan go back through, because obviously he had the much quicker pace compared to us. So he gives us a little weave there to say, I think, to say to thank you. I'll get on with my race.
These tyres have much more to give. They're showing a fair amount of wear, and they're going to start causing you problems. Okay, the gap behind is 4.7 seconds.
So just pretty much going as long as I can here on the medium tyres. But Matt did actually get into the lane properly in the end. But you can see his race has pretty much just gone downhill from there. As I think he clipped the pit lane, the wall coming out of on the pit lane exit. So he's not enjoying the walls coming into pit lane and out of pit lane at the current moment. Is that Matt? So not been an ideal race. He was looking good as well to get some decent points for Alfa Romeo, but looks like I'll be trying to wave the flag as best I can for the team. But considering it's sort of been a bit of an upturn in pace between myself and Matt sort of in the latter stages. I think Matt had me had the wood over me earlier on in the season, but I've sort of clawed it back a little bit here as there's Death Row going by us. But we're actually going to come into the pit lane here, so it is slow down as close as we can. But yeah, fortunately, it was just literally not by much. I don't think it was like 1k over. Oh, you probably would have all seen it anyway. So, but anyway, we're going to jump onto the hard tyres. Obviously, change the front wing because just did not feel comfortable at all with the front wing, especially on a street circuit like this in Singapore. And we're going to exit the pit lane here. I think we should come out with a relatively fresh air. There goes Kaios there, and here comes Masterbezerk, which we haven't seen for a little bit there in the turn, first couple of corners, well, since lap 1 actually. So, but he's now obviously jumped us in P10, and we're back in P11, and my teammate's way back down the road in P12 here. But I knew it was sort of up in arms here about what Berserk was going to do here, because obviously he's on the harder compounded tyres. We actually get back into P10 because Brazuca actually came into the pit lane. Surprised actually he came in, excuse me, a little bit earlier when he did onto the medium compounded tyres, because I thought he could go a little bit longer on the harder compounded tyres, then jump onto the medium tyres and have a bit fresher pace. Sorry, a bit more pace, I should say. But we set a purple sector 1. Still don't know how we did that, but anyway, we're sort of starting to close in here on Berserk. We get a second time penalty on the race. Ryan sets the fastest lap of the race, so he's looking pretty good at the moment here to claim his his fourth drivers champion, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, it will be his fourth drivers champion because obviously fans took our season 4. So you see on lap 15 here, Berserk actually pulls out of the road there and just lets us go here. So
okay, good work, great pass.
Thank you, Jeff, even though Berserk made it a bit easier for me. But yeah, very nice of Berserk. I gave him a weave to just say thank you for that. But I think he sort of knew that I was on the fresher rubber compared to him, considering he's been on those hard compounded tyres since, well, the end of lap 1 really. So now obviously trying to close in here on Kaios for P8. There's a little bit running a little bit wide going into turn 14 here, but there's not really too many passing spots around, well, this part of the circuit anyway. I know probably some people in real life Formula 1 have actually tried to make passes around here. Wink, wink, Sergio Perez, which didn't work out at all, I think, from memory. But just sort of really playing the patient game here around here. But I also probably had to try and get past Kaios as well, because I knew Berserk would probably try and maybe have a crack at maybe trying to get past him with the DRS open. And just make it as easy as we like into turn 1. This ran it a little bit wide going through turns 1 and 2 there, but I think it was all good, no dramas there. And we jumped up into P8. Next up is LSEM the Butler, who's actually a bit more further up the road. If you can see the mini-map down in the bottom left, you'll easily see where he is. But yeah, behind is Berserk, I think, trying to get past Kaios, and don't think he makes any has any issues, and just gets around him pretty easily there and goes back up into P9.
Okay, clear.
There's yellow flags behind. I think that's behind. I think it's the other Red Bull of Brazuca. May have had a spin.
Fresh hards. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 41.8. You're closing by 0.4 per lap.
Just getting an update on penalties wise. So Butler's got 0.
The gap behind us is 2.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 15 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:42.6. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
And Berserk behind us already got 1 time penalty, but I knew I had obviously more time penalties compared to those guys. So yeah, at this point sort of thing, I was sort of consolidated to maybe finish in this position here, unless some absolute miracle happens in these last few laps, which, like I said, will be an absolute miracle. But at the end of that lap, Berserk actually came into the pit lane there on the end of lap 19 on the lap 20. As my teammate's actually gone past him in the pit lane there. And I think he's gone, if I'm not mistaken, for the medium tyres, what my teammate told me, because he obviously was the nearest car. It's another yellow flag here as Brazuca's actually retired in the pit lane there, so not entirely sure what's happened to him there, whether that was something to do with what happened earlier at turn 9 or something else. I don't know. His race has pretty much gone down the drain. But anyway, we'll get a third time penalty of the race.
Last incident.
Just don't know. I just don't know what it is with this circuit. I just do not, like I mentioned before, how the hell I won here in Season 2 and F2. It still beggars belief here, but there's a bit of a replay. Oh, not a replay, but you see on the mini-map there, sort of, I think a little bit of a glitch there. I could be completely utterly wrong. It may have just been for me, but I think it was one of the Williams cars. I don't know which one. Possibly could have been Kairos, as he's actually now retired, so I'm going to have to assume that there was Kairos that had that moment there, but he's out of the Grand Prix. We've only got 11 runners left now. It's on to lap 24, and again, still struggling with the car, even on the hard compounded tyres, which I didn't feel like these tyres were too bad at all, to be fair, but I don't know what it is, really. Just whatever it was, this setup was just not working at all around this the street circuits here at Marina Bay. You can see the gap, well and truly, it's like 20 odd seconds ahead to LSE and the Butler, so I was sort of consolidated to like sort of finishing in this position here, and I think the same can be said for is that map. But of course we will have probably a little bit of what's the wording, Masterbezerk will probably be catching a little bit at the end here, but we set a fastest lap at the end of lap 26 there. It was a 1:41.19, which is probably nowhere near the pace compared to the leaders. But LSE and the Butler has actually come in late here and gone for the soft tyre, so I think he's actually going to go for the fastest lap here to get that extra bonus point. And I think Poms has already got that now, because he's had a pretty terrible race as poor old Poms. What probably didn't help him either was he didn't have a lot of practice going into Singapore, so that wasn't ideal. My teammate also came in for the set of soft tyres just to try and get fastest lap, obviously get an extra point. And also Laggy's come in as well, sort of trying to keep obviously just ahead of LSE and the Butler. We probably would have had a decent gap, but it just what not to be sure.
The time last lap was a 1:48.9. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
So Laggy's also got a 3-second time penalty, but yeah, I think he was just being on the safe side, on the cautious side, and always wanted to maintain his position ahead of Butler here, as we had a little bit of a rear end loss there coming through turn 9. I just pretty much sacrificed the spot there to Butler, and obviously with his much fresher soft tyres compared to the hards, it was just a no-brainer really. So we drop back down to P8 as he got Masterbezerk in position 9 obviously, but I'll have to probably keep an eye on that mini-map as well behind.
The gap to the car behind is 9.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:39.9. They have a time penalty of 6.0.
So that sort of helped me out a little bit there, because obviously he's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties. I've got 6 seconds worth of time penalties. There's going to be, you'll see a few guys actually set fastest laps of the race, so they'll get the extra bonus point. But yeah, with these last couple of laps, all I pretty much had to do, I think I was on the narrow edge, and possibly if I did get another warning, I would get another time penalty. And if that gap got down to about, I think 3 seconds between me and Berserk, then I knew I was going to be in trouble and probably lose P8 at this point in the race. So I just had to play it cautiously here, and just basically
manage your tyres.
Just keep ahead of Berserk. As we're on the last couple of laps here, we're actually going to start the final lap here of the Singapore Grand Prix, because literally not a lot happened around here. So I do apologise, but that was pretty much my race. But I just ran a little bit too wide coming through turn 2 there, and actually get another 3-second time penalty. So that puts me on 9. Now, like I said before, as Ryan goes on to take victory here and will take another championship with him. So that's another, become a 4-time AOR Oceania champion. So big congrats to Ryan there. And like I said, as the fireworks go off and are over the marina there, I basically just had to keep the gap above 3 seconds behind to Berserk. I think it was about 3 seconds. I hope I was right there, but a little bit sideways there, actually nearly bottling it. That was not a purposeful slide there, I can tell you, but cut the corner there as we come across the line and try to slam into our teammate. Didn't work out at all, but did we hang on to P8? I don't think we do. I think Berserk managed to do it. Yes, he does. So we actually dropped back into position 9 there. So, yeah, I mean, it's P9. I'll probably take some points anyway. That was literally the goal around here, was to literally get some points and just move on to the next round, which will be the Russian Grand Prix. So there you go. There's your podium there. So Ryan takes the victory, and fittingly, even after the steward's inquiry, he does go on to take another championship, 4th title in 5 seasons. Not too bad overall. Obviously, he didn't take part in a lot of season 4, but if he had, he probably would have easily been champion, I would have thought. But what a domination season Ryan has pretty much had, and probably could say the same for a few other guys over the AOR, in AOR overall. But so there's your final results on the screen. So Ryan takes the victory ahead of LSEM Allan, who did not quite have enough in the end to keep the championship alive. Warden in P3, who's pretty much a lone ranger there in P3. Deathbro in P4. LSEM Venom, who's obviously formerly New Zealand Venom, in P5. We've got Lag in 6th. Masterbezerk, Butler in 7th. Berserk 8th. Then obviously 9th and 10th is myself and is that Matt. I think Laggy ended up with the fastest lap of the race, so he'll get that extra bonus point there. Poms recovered well to finish in P11, the last of the runners, and then DNFs for Kiowas, Brazuca, and Conron straight. So, and also Icarus, I forgot to mention that as well. So yeah, not a great race for those guys there. So, but anyway, so driver standings. Obviously, Ryan did wrap up the championship here at Singapore. 176 points it was in the end. So pretty simple, really, over LSEM Allan. Still in P2, Warden still in P3, then you go all the way down to Derek Kidd, who's still in P10. The teammate is still doing a great job in P6. We're still in P11, but that gap has really started to shrink a hell of a lot now to LSN, the Butler, and obviously Brazuca, Conrod, Kiowas, and Icarus is still the only driver that's still yet to score a single point. Constructors, Ferrari still have a 264-point advantage over Haas. McLaren is P3 ahead of Toro Rosso. The Mercedes, Alfa Romeo in 6th. Racing Point, Renault, Red Bull, and Williams rounding out your 10. They didn't quite wrap up the constructors here, but they may do it at Russia. But there's the other results overall for Singapore. Ryan obviously took victory in Xbox F1. Exodona took victory in Xbox One F2. And F1 Amazing Hour came back from his horrific Italian Grand Prix and came with the victory over Pete Crichton there. And those championship battle is still going on for the time being. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the Singapore Grand Prix. I'll leave you now with the highlights, or the not so much high race highlights from me. But if you did enjoy, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. As always, you can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2019, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. As always, all my social media links will be down in the description. Plus, you can go check out the links to the AOR website, the YouTube channel, and even the Twitter channel. And also, they may have the Instagram channel there. I don't know. But yeah, just go check those out if you want to go check out AOR overall. But so yeah, till the next one, which will be the Russian Grand Prix, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.